The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on TOMz Radio Toronto are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of TOMz Radio Toronto or its staff. These broadcasts are presented and made public as entertainment and general information only, in the hope that they will be entertaining and informative to listeners. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate in any way any disease or condition or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice, nor is the information presented necessarily accurate or verifiable.
This is TOMz Radio Toronto, 3768 Bathurst Street. Welcome our viewers, and our show is Health and Wellness. Today's discussion is about mental illness conditions such as depression, stress, and low motivation and illnesses. I have guests with me in the studio. Please welcome my guest. Welcome Karen Prosper,
Thank you so much.
an international student. Upendo Amine,
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here.
high school student, and Lynn Zucker.
Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here.
Thank you. Maybe before we continue, can you tell us a little bit, Lynn, which school are you going through?
So right now, I'm a grade 12 student in John Fraser.
Okay. And Upendo?
I'm a grade 12 student in John Fraser Secondary School.
What about Karen?
I'm a grade 12 student in Braemar College.
Good. So let us start our talk about mental illness conditions. You have been experiencing this during this pandemic, how it has affected you. When I talk about mental illness, I'm talking the conditions of depression, stress, anxiety, and with the lockdowns, with school online, how exactly this issue has affected you. So maybe let me start with Karen. First of all, how do you see Canada so far?
Honestly, it's very amazing, but I just wish I could have more time to experience it in person because of all this lockdown, I can go around, I can see it in person. But until now, it's very welcoming, and I'm honestly glad to be here, and I would love to stay even more.
I can really feel that because with this pandemic and lockdowns, it's very hard to make new friends, meet new people, and this is how the beauty of Canada is. People in Canada are so welcoming. So as we continue the program now, I'm going back to you, Lynn. Can you tell us something? Tell us how the pandemic has affected you, how this online schooling has affected you, did it affect your studies and everything?
So I feel like pre-COVID, school for me used to be like two components, education and social life. But obviously due to COVID, social life is lacking, and this puts a lot more pressure on education, which affects like the mental health of most people. And also because there's no social life, people are experiencing a lot of loss, whether it's like loss of friends or family members. And on a personal level, I'm an only child. So I feel like that also has it plays a big role in my mental health personally, because I've been experiencing more like loneliness, obviously, since social interaction is lacking.
Oh, I can feel that. So how are you managing it?
So I feel like the best way from my experience, like what I've been doing, is in my school, we have a lot of clubs that help promote mental health. So I joined them, and I just started try to call my friends more often and just interact with more people as much as I can, like online. So like either video calls or like being involved in my school more.
Okay, that sounds great, and thank you for visiting our studios today. So tell me something about the conditions. Have they affected your academic performance?
So I feel like there definitely has been a bit of an effect, but also I think that because it's really common for like mental issues to be like rising during this time, I feel like it's overall during like throughout social media and everything, it's been promoted really well, and like especially in this like the 21st century, it's really normalized to talk about these mental health issues. So I think that's a positive. Like I constantly see like mental health posts on my Instagram, for example.
Yeah, you're. In fact, you are talking a very great point there. There are some cultures, like my culture in Tanzania, we don't talk about mental illness, but I think it's a very, very serious topic that people should not feel ashamed to talk about it. Should not feel ashamed to discuss about how they feel and how they are affected with the mental illness conditions. So. Let me ask this, Karen. Karen, how are you feeling? Then I will come back to you, Upendo. When you just landed to Canada and then there's lockdown, you don't see people around, you can't move around. These conditions, have they affected you?
Honestly, at first when I arrived, because they already said about removing the lockdown and everything after 2 weeks, I was actually very excited. I really wanted to meet new people. I really wanted to interact and know the different type of culture Canadian people have. Because as it said, that there are a lot of people in Canada who are not Canadians, that different type of cultures.
Yeah, of course, Canada is a very diverse country. I mean, there are a lot of different people you're going to meet, a lot, and you're going to enjoy them, but I don't know when. That's the problem now. I don't know when we are going to go back to our normal life. So, and how have you been managing this?
So I've been trying to put my head into my school because it's actually new for me because back in Tanzania, the education system is really different from Canadian system. So I have tried my level best, and I'm still trying to put my head into this new system that is here, which is new to me, so that I could get caught up with everything. Since I can't even interact with people, I can get certain opinions from different type of people. So that is pretty much it.
I can feel your frustration. It's really very hard. So, Upendo, tell us something. Do you experience any conditions, and how are you feeling with this pandemic?
To be honest, I'm not a fan of this pandemic. Truly, I hate it, especially that we have to go through online schooling, and a lot of teachers now, they're more stressed. I feel like they have a lot of work to do with the students. So they put so much pressure on students too. So we're becoming more stressed because of the amount of work they're giving us.
You are talking about the intense academic pressure you are experiencing, and that pressure, has it affected your mental issues, state?
Yes, of course.
Experiencing depression and...
I have truly felt a couple days ago, I was experiencing a lot of stress because of the amount of work we're getting. And, it's almost the end of semester, and a lot of teachers are putting more work so that they can get their marks in. And I felt very sad. I felt that I'm pressured to do something that I'm not even prepared to do. I do not know where to start. I do not know where to go. So it was very stressful. I just end up tearing up because what else can I do? Right?
Yeah, the good thing is that this condition is not only for you. I'm very sure a lot of youth outside, they're experiencing the same conditions. The way you are talking, Lynn, I really feel it. So maybe you are speaking to other fellows who are watching you live now. What are you advising them to do? Because you talked about Instagram. I'm not a social media person, so I don't know how to interact in Instagram and Facebook. But tell us, how do you interact in those social media as youth?
So I think that there's a lot of accounts recently that just are aimed to promote positive mental health, and by following them and like looking at posts that help to like reassure everyone and like that this is a normal time, we're gonna pass through it. I feel like that helps a lot. So
do you encourage yourselves on those social platforms that let us take it easy? And I'm just curious and to know what kind of discussions you are really having on those platforms, because as a parent, sometimes I'm worried when I see my kids spending much time on the social media. I don't know what kind of interaction. Can you tell us, maybe you can remove that fear the parents are having, seeing their kids interacting in the social media 24/7?
Yeah, so I definitely don't think that's a positive thing. I feel like social media definitely has a lot of negative sides to it. Yeah, so I think that with regards to discussions, the most important thing to do is just reach out to those who are like the closest to you, and that would help more than like social media and like more further audience.
Good. Upendo, tell us something. How are you advising your fellow friends and students to take calm at this time? Because I know this kind of frustration really disturbing our health. Some kids have experienced different illness, but not only that, as a parent, when you see your children or your kids frustrated, it affects you too. And this is why I want us to discuss about mental illness conditions, because we are all affected in different ways.
What advice I have for my fellow students and teachers and also parents is just to take it slow. They should be understanding that this is a very hard time that everybody's going through, not only myself, but there's a lot of other people going through this kind of situation. So they should take it slow, try to understand them and try to feel what they're going through. And also parents should just be there to motivate them, because it is a very stressful situation. Parents should be able to motivate them and tell them it's going to be okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. Everything will be fine eventually. So keep it calm, breathe in, and just do your best what you can do and be motivated. That's the only thing.
Wow, that sounds very encouraging, that you have to learn ways to motivate yourself. So when you talk about motivating yourself, Karen, as a new student, as a newcomer in Canada, what ways are you using to motivate yourself?
Personally, I think one of the things that I would like to do is, when I'm not interacting myself into school, education stuff, I would just like she said, social media has a lot of negative things, but there's also some positive side into it. There, you can watch podcasts. There are people trying to make themselves not fall into depression by throwing themselves into podcasts, talk about fun stuff, talk about things that most of the parents do not have time to talk to their kids about. Actually letting them know
what kind of those stuff.
Okay, for example, for me, back in Tanzania, parents are actually not open. I'm actually happy to have a parent that was open with me from the time that she actually knew that I was matured enough to know stuff. But there are other parents that don't have time to tell their kids that, there are type of things like this when you meet type of people. For example, there are people who deal with drugs, who engage themselves into drugs. So you have to be careful. It's not a good thing. They literally just don't tell you that. So they don't tell them that if you don't work yourself, or if you don't work hard in the most legal ways, you're going to end up in the illegal world. That is going to
crimes,
exactly. That is going to affect your mental health and your physical and your life in general.
Yeah,
so,
you talked a very good point. I was discussing with one of the parents this morning, and say that if the way you influence your child, the way you train your kids, or the way you talk to your kids, can be one way to reduce social crimes, especially at this time of pandemic. Because if we keep pressuring our kids and trying to make them more frustrated, it's really very dangerous, because they are going to opt other solutions which are not going to be very good. So Lynn, you told me you're the single child in the family.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel that. So tell me how your parents are supporting you at this time.
Yeah, so my parents are very supportive. Obviously, like if I know I can always reach out to them if there is anything, which is obviously a good thing, because I know that a lot of people that I know have like parents that are not supportive, and that definitely adds on to a lot of mental health problems that could occur.
I think I need to talk to you girls today. When you say parents are not supportive, what do you mean?
I mean, mainly because they've been raised around the stigma around mental health. So they think that anything with mental health is like straight away a negative thing, but that's definitely not the case. Like mental health should be treated as if it's a physical like illness, I guess.
Wow, that's I'm learning something new today. It's true that mental illness has to be treated, has to be addressed. But do you understand, Lynn, that the parents as trying to struggle with the old culture. And the old culture perhaps does not expose them to mental illness. That's why they can't share these conditions with the kids, or they can't accept it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. And because they're raised around that, kids aren't even speaking up about what they're feeling, which is making it a lot harder for obviously the kids. And they know that they're not in a supportive environment where like their feelings won't be accepted.
So you have a platform today, Lynn, to address to parents who are listening to you, who are going to view this show later. What are you telling them that, what are you advising the parents to do or to act with their children at this time?
So I think that honestly, just researching about mental health and having the knowledge can really help changing like how you view it, because it's probably more normal than you think. And I think that just being like letting your kids, making them feel that they're open to talking to you, like be there for them and accept like what they're feeling, and like encourage them to like reach for help.
You know why I'm smiling is because I've been struggling the same way because I'm too busy. But my kids have been complaining that I don't give them much time. I don't listen to them. But I felt that I was giving enough time to talk and discuss. Is it not because that this culture has exposed you, the social media culture has exposed you to so many stuff to the point that even us like parents, we cannot address some of the things? Anyone can answer that.
Okay, I honestly don't think that is the case. You know, for parents, this culture thing runs so deep with them that they never take their time off to actually understand what the kids are going through. I mean, if you put down whatever your culture and everything you have in your head and actually just be there to listen to your kids and listen to them, what is going on through them. Let them talk to you without you getting mad. You know, there's this thing where they say, I once saw this meme saying, "What is the biggest lie your mother ever told you?" Like, tell me the truth and I won't get mad. Apparently, when you just tell them the truth, they bust out. They don't want to listen. They'll end up, for African parents, they'll end up grabbing something and throw it to you. You know, like actually just be you without listening to you. That makes it so hard for the kids, and they feel like the parents doesn't get them, so they seek help from other people, which might lead into them doing something which is not right. That's why you'll be like, I never thought my kid could be like this. My kid is always so good. You just actually don't know what is going on behind the curtain. You only see the out front that they want to show it to you because they feel like that's what you want to see. You know, when mothers be like, why can't you be like any other kids? Other kids are so like, what? They're so respectful to their parents. They're so this, they're so that. They're just going through some things that parents don't actually want to listen to. We just give them what they think they need. For example, when a parent wants you to be like so good, when you see a lot of people do this, don't do that, you already said what you want. So the kid is going to play along with what you want, but you don't know what's going through her. If you give her time or he time to listen to them and actually understand them without getting mad, getting upset, over judging them, and actually be in their wear their shoes and understand them, you're going to understand your kid very much.
Karen, it's like you're speaking to me.
I totally agree with what she's saying.
Okay. Tell me.
I agree 100% what Karen is saying, because that's one of the biggest problem that we're facing today with parents, especially parents who are from different cultures. You know, parents need to give their kids opportunity to speak for themselves, right? So if a kid won't speak out, then those feelings that they're feelings will be kept hidden, and those feelings will keep on growing and growing and growing. At the end of the day, they'll drive into mental issues, mental problems. So totally, I agree. Parents need to be able to listen more, give other kids opportunity to explain themselves, and not say, "Oh, tell me now, not get mad." No, you have to actually say that, and you mean it. That okay, you're going to tell me something. I will listen to you. If you have any kind of advice, if the parents have any kind of advice, I'll give out to you because you're my kid. You need to be understanding that. That's how the communication is.
Wow.
If I might add one more thing, is that most of the kids, if you see around, most of the kids that don't live with their parents anymore, like they have transferred to their own homes, is all because of their parents not listening to them. Like most of the kids that are at home are the parents who are very supportive, understanding. They feel comfortable around the environment because they know their parents are going to listen to them, understand them. But kids who have their own home, like, I can't wait to move out of this house. Those are the kids that don't get to be listened to. Their parents are like so over their neck, so they're like, you know what? I just can't wait to get out of this house and move on to my own place.
You know what?
So I can get the freedom I
Next
want.
time I'm going to invite more parents to be with us in this kind of discussions, because it's like you are pointing me. No, I have to stand and defend the parents that, you know, they're also very stressful this life too. Making sure you go to school, you get your needs. It's not simple. It's not easy. So I wish also kids could understand. But then I'm very glad that we are having this kind of talk. So Lynn, tell me, what are you saying about this kind of discussions?
Yeah, so I
Jamie?
wanted to add on also that I've actually seen this happening like in real life. So recently, like around a couple months ago, one of my really close friends reached out to me and she was speaking about her struggles. So I encouraged her to like get help and get support. But then her parents were like almost acting as like a barrier between her and getting support. And I saw this happen. So like before that, I probably wouldn't have
What
understood.
kind of support? Calling 911 or?
The support that she reached out to was just reaching out to like a school guidance counselor, I guess. And then that transferred her to like more like personal support, like a program directed straight to her. But because of her unsupportive parents, it almost like she couldn't do it because they were just acting as like a barrier and like they wouldn't like encourage her decision.
So parents, this is a very serious problem. These our kids are talking to us. They are telling us what they need. And if we don't take care of them, they are going to break down. So what I'm hearing here now is that maybe some social crimes are created with the force of the parents who are not supportive to the kids. But then I want to understand more. What kind of supports the teenagers or the kids need in the houses to reduce these mental illness conditions? Because it's getting extreme now. So tell me, what exactly do you need from your parents? Apart from listening, what else do you think it will be supportive for you to take care of yourself and be calm and make sure everything is okay?
Honestly, I feel like for us to understand each other, at some point parents have to like be open to us about their problems too, because you might think that we don't understand. It's because they normally don't tell us anything. If you like tell us what is going through with you too, we'll actually know what we're dealing with as a family. You know, once a kid has empathy of what, of course, you're our parents and nobody else's. So we'll have to like have empathy about our parents, what they're going through, so that we can know what to act. You know, most of the kids will be like, my father is always so mad at me. You barely even know what you've done. My father's always so mad at me. It's maybe because of what the father is going through. But he won't let us know. I mean, he won't let the kid know what he's going through with him. So the kid will actually act out with that, because my father is really mad at me. I don't know what I've done, so I'll just go out and talk to somebody else, you know. I actually think it's very important for parents to also like talk to their kids about mind of the stuff. I know it's not easy for parents to open up to their kids because they're worried maybe they will carry the things into themselves too. You know, when a child is also worried about their parents, it's also a burden to them because they wear it as it's theirs. So most of the parents try to avoid that because they want the best for their kids, not to think about their own problems. But it's also not fair for parents to also only worry about our problems without us knowing what they're going through. So they should at least sit down and tell us about what they're going through. They don't have to tell us everything, but the most important thing that is going through them at the moment, so that we can know how to act in front of them, you know, like how to be ourselves, and also tell them about our problems so we can solve each other's problem together. You know, that actually makes the kids become more comfortable around their parents, because they know, I can't do this. My parent is going through this, so I have to like be there, support my parent as much as she's supporting me.
That's very, very good. So Lynn, do you think listening to your parents' issues and problems may build your confidence more?
Yeah, so I feel like this relationship between like a parent and a child, like that should be like emphasized and built on since the child is like young. So just encouraging them to always like talk to the parents about how they're feeling. So something as simple as like, how was your day at school? Like asking them this every day can eventually build a trusting relationship between both of them. And then eventually when the child starts experiencing these issues, they would be like really encouraged to speak up to them because they've just done this their whole life.
That is very good. I'm really learning a lot of stuff through this discussion. So I think parents, we need to create a good relationship with our kids. We need to learn new ways to relate to this generation, because it's true that this generation has been exposed to very, very wide things. I mean, a lot of stuff whereby some of them as parents we don't know, but I think it's the right time now for the parents to engage ourselves and learn new ways of creating this bond between parents and kids in another level. Because I understand our cultures, our traditions, our day-to-day struggle also limit us to have that kind of relationship, which is very strong. But then I think we have to struggle ourselves and make sure we create this relationship. Otherwise, we are going to generate the generation which is having a lot of mental illness conditions. To avoid this, we have to step up. What are we supposed to do? Let us go for a short break and then we come back. Stay tuned. Don't leave your screen.
For a while now, you've got me feeling like a child now. 'Cause every time I see your bubbly face, I get the tingles in a silly place, tossing my toes and a crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know that you make me smile. Please stay for a while now, just take your time. Wherever you go, rain is falling on my window pane, but we are hiding in a safer place. Undercover, staying right and wrong. You give me feelings that I adore. Stars in my toes make me crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know you make me smile. Please stay for a while now, just take your time. Wherever you go, what am I gonna say? Yeah. When you make me feel this way, I just stars in my toes make me crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know that you make me smile. Please stay for a while now, just take your time. Wherever you go, I've been asleep for a while now. You tuck me in just like a child now. 'Cause every time you hold me in your arms, I'm comfortable enough to feel your warmth. It starts in my soul and I lose all control. When you kiss my nose, the feeling shows. 'Cause you make me smile, baby, just take your time now, holding me tight. Wherever you go, wherever you go, wherever you go, I'll always know
guys. Thank you to DJ Ricky, who is really controlling the show very, very well. Big up, Ricky, and big up to all the viewers who are watching us live right now. So we are talking about mental illness conditions, and I have guests here. I'm telling you, they have really, really. I can't even explain how I feel right now with the discussions we had before. But then I want to ask you another question that we have been discussing about how mental conditions have affected youth in the houses or kids in the families. Tell me, do you think this situation of mental conditions, if they prolong for a long time within a child, can create trauma in a life or his life?
So I feel like using the word trauma is a really like extreme word, and it should only be used in like a professional diagnosis. But I think that everyone has like different environments in this current situation at home. So I feel like people with like extreme environments that are being toxic and affecting all parts of their life, like from school to home, then I feel like eventually over the years, if this behavior continues, then I feel like it would have an effect on how they're gonna be like acting in the future and how they view everything.
Yeah, you're very right, because how you see things today or who you are today is also reflect your past, it reflects your history. That's how you are today. If you look at me, I am this way because of my past and my future. My past and my history has shaped me to be who I am today. So that's why I want to ask this question very critical, that if this mental condition persists in a child, might create trauma or whatever it is. You said that it's a very strong word to use. It's true, it's a very strong word to use, but I want to understand, because sometimes we complain when we see how people behave, how people act, but we don't know their history. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know what they experienced when they were growing up. Karen, can you speak about this?
Okay, at my point of view, I feel like it does actually create trauma to kids. I'm going to speak about my personal experience. I happen to be 19 turning 20. So my early teenagehood has been very hard for me, because before I had my parents, more specifically my mother. My mother was this very strict person. I didn't even get a time to like be open with her, talk to her. I was living under this impression that I'm supposed to respect her out of fear. Like I wasn't supposed to respect her because I'm open to her. I have to respect her because she wants me to be like any other kids. Like she'll be like bringing these examples up, like why can't you be like any other kids? Other kids they wear very long dresses to go out, you know, and because we've all been in different childhoods. Like for example, my mother back in her days, they used to like go out play with stones, you know, like throwing out the kids. Okay, my turn of childhood is that we have to like try these new fashion trends, you know, and as a kid I will actually be very curious, because it's my time, and I would actually be very curious to know is it something I would want to do when I grow up? Is it something that I would love to do? Like would I love to like be wearing clothes that will make me look very good? Will I like to be doing this? But then since I already have a parent that back then that wasn't a thing, she will always be like, can't you like be like every other kid who's not doing what you're trying to do, who's not? So I was actually living with this respect of fearism, like I'm really scared of my mom.
What you mean is that you are not yourself. So
exactly.
How you behave, how you act in front of your parents was not
how.
You.
Exactly. It was different from how I was actually when I'm with friends. You know, when I'm with friends, we'll do something else. But when my mom is about to come, so I have to like be, you know, that type of. But after a certain time of point, I was like, you know what, Mom, this is actually creating a very hard time for me underneath, because I feel like I'm living a lie. I'm living a fake life. So I want you to actually sit down and not judge me by whatever I'm going to tell you that I had to go through all my teenagehood and whatever all the burdens that I had to carry. But I was scared to come talk to you about them because I was scared of how you're going to act upon them.
Don't you think that your mom behaved that way because she was trying to create a certain discipline in you?
Yeah, but then at some point she has, we all have different type of path, she's my mother and I very much respect that, but I also she's not going to be able to control me all my life. It's going to reach a certain point that she has to let me go. So you actually as a parent won't want your child to act and live a fake life with you, and after you let go of her, she turns into a different person you won't even be able to recognize. You'll be like, this is not the daughter I raised, this is not the son I raised. Actually it was, it's just that she was acting and giving you a fake frontal page of herself or himself.
I hope parents, you are hearing this, because it's a very serious discussion. We are raising kids on our own perspective, so we are not giving them opportunity to be themselves.
Exactly.
And this is why when they go out, we see a different version of a child.
Because that was who they were. They were just acting in front of you. So you, as parents, I actually advise that you let the kids try whatever they want. Just let them know. There's this thing called advice. I believe you all know about it. As parents, you just have to okay, I know that you really want to do this, but you should also be keen to check, is the pros much greater than the cons? I mean, the advantages, is it much than the disadvantage? Is it necessary? Do you think that is something you really want to do? You just give them advice and let them learn for themselves. Is it something I want to do? Is it something I don't want to do? Because after I opened up to my mother, it's actually been very easy for me. Whenever I'm facing something, I'll actually go back to my mother and be like, okay, mom, I'm going to 1, 2, 3. Do you think this is something she'll actually just be open, and she won't even judge me and give me an advice like, do you think it's something you want to do? Because from my perspective, I don't feel like it's something necessary, and all the experiences that I've had, I know that you're going through a different thing than I have ever gone through, but I feel like if I give you this advice and what you think, you'll know what to do, And after that, it's been very easy, and she's been very proud of herself, and in such a point that whenever she sees other kids, she'll be like, I'm actually glad that my daughter is very open with me, because now I know what she's going through, and other kids are acting. I even gave her an example. There are these strict parents, they'll be like, no, I will take you to only girls' school back in Tanzania, I don't want you to get mixed with boys, because boys, they'll end up making you do this and do this. That actually makes the kid very curious. When you tell a kid, don't go there, they'll actually be like, what is there? What is mom hiding? So I actually go there. So the kids will end up being the very ruined kids. They'll end up having, they'll end up trying to know what boys have, and end up getting pregnant.
I understand. Now, you know what, Lynn? It's good that you have been brought up in Canadian culture, whereby Canadian culture gives you opportunity and exposes you to different things. But the way you're telling me that your friends have been struggling, it's not because of them, it's because of the parents are struggling with this new culture and the old culture. With the old culture, what Karen has been talking about, this is how we have been brought up. Don't expect a parent give you something which she doesn't know, because the way I behave is the way my mom behaved. So that's what I'm saying to the parents, that what? It's high time now we go back and be ready to learn new ways of this generation, because I was not born within this generation. So I don't know exactly a lot of stuff which are going on with this generation, but then I have to learn. And for sure today, you have exposed me a lot.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was trying to say that it's true that you have not been brought up in this generation, and a lot of parents need to start learning, transitioning to the generation that's going. Things are not going to be the same. Things are going to change throughout the years. So you need to be updating yourself. You know how people update with new iPhones, and you have new iPhones every year? That now imagine yourself updating with new behaviors, new responsibilities, because I believe you mentioned something about discipline when Karen was talking about how about when parents are trying to discipline their kids because they're telling them to do the things that they want to do, but they don't let their kids be open about themselves. Well, there's different ways of disciplining kids which parents need to explore, because if you're disciplining a kid in your own way and they're lying about themselves towards you, that's not discipline. You're building a very good liar. You're creating a very good liar.
Okay, Lynn, tell me. First, let me ask you: are your parents Canadian based?
No, so my parents they moved here, they studied here, like university only.
Wow, that's
And
great. At
yeah.
least they were exposed to this
Yeah.
culture.
And
So, go ahead.
especially my mom studied early childhood education, so that's all about like parent-child relationships as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So you're very lucky. You don't experience this kind of stuff which is going on. But then you feel that some other friends of yours are experiencing difficulties. So what can you address?
So the way that like the reason I feel like very comfortable and stuff is because my mom like maintained this balanced relationship from when I was a young kid. Like she always like for example, like I mentioned earlier, she just asks me simple questions to like encourage me to talk about like how I'm feeling. Like
But
yeah.
don't you think it's because you're a single child?
Yeah.
A parent like me having 3
Yeah.
kids and you go back home, you have to listen to every child. Karen, you were saying no.
No, I disagree. Actually, I actually disagree. That's a very bad excuse, and don't ever bring it up again. Because in my family, we're 4 kids, and what do they call this? The person who is in between, the center of our family is my mother, and she actually takes time to listen to all her kids. We're 4, and we all have our dramatic issues because I'm in Canada, my other siblings are in Kenya, my other siblings are in Uganda. We're all in different parts of Africa, and I'm also in here. So she actually gets time to listen to all of us so that she can have that relationship with her kids. After she realized what I'm going through, after me talking to her, she actually believed that if she keeps on having the same ideology she had before, like I'm supposed to be like making them be what I want and all that, it's actually not gonna help. So she's always so open with her kids. My siblings are boys. I only have one sister who's very young, but after me they're boys. So she actually very open with them, like tell me what are you going through, what do you want to know. She's very, very open. It's to the point that whenever I meet someone else who's going through her family problems, like she's actually living in fear, I'll be like, why don't you talk to your mom? My mother will never understand me and all that. So I'm like, I'm glad she's not my mom, because
Don't you think? Okay, I really agree that it's true that parents need to change, and especially when we are struggling with old and new culture and with this generation, we need to. I'm going to insist that we need to learn new ways to relate to our kids right now, especially at this time of pandemic. It's very difficult to everybody, and because it's difficult, that means we have to create time to our kids. But I understand that parents are really struggling. Like if you talk about front line workers who are working 24/7, who are very stressed with the conditions, it's really hard. Even when a parent also is going through mental illness conditions, and then you are also forced to listen to the kids. I understand it's very hard, but I'm talking to you. Do you feel that parents are also going through stressful conditions right now?
I understand parents go through stressful conditions because they are the one providing for us, right? They're going through work, especially now. A lot of people are not working, so they are going through that kind of stress. But that shouldn't be an excuse. We shouldn't use that as an excuse. As we said earlier, parents need to be open to us. They need to tell us what they're going through so that we know what they're going through and be able to have that good communication, good relationship. If they hide things from us and use their stress, anger to us, we won't understand what is going on. So parents just need to be able to express their feelings and say what they're going through. We work through these things together. I help you. We help each other. We are a family. We need to stick together. So I really do understand parents are going through that, and I just want parents to be open to their kids so that we emphasize what they're going through and understand what they're going through, so that at least now we say, okay, I know my parents is going through something. Let me just try to cool down a little bit, and we communicate.
Yeah, and that's what I want to understand. That are you guys ready to adjust to your parents when they are not aligning with what you need?
Can I answer personally that question? Okay, first and foremost, I want to add up to what the point that she said. You know, when you say that there are parents that work different types of job, so they never have time to like listen to the kid, that's also a lie. You know, there's a lot of methods of how parents could listen to their kid. You know, you can actually tell the kids, okay, I will be late at home, but if you have something to tell me, you can actually write it down. That's how you make a kid write their emotions down. They actually be open rather than being in front of you because they are worried of what they're going to say to you in a way that you might get offended somehow. You let them write, and then you take your time to, I believe parents are very mature, and whenever they read something, they will understand on how to go about the issue. Okay, they don't have time to talk about it. Now that there's pandemic, people and parents are not working, they actually have a free time to like...
A lot of parents are going through financial struggle. Things are not good. Some of the parents have lost their jobs. So it's really, really stressful.
Exactly. So they have time to like talk to their kids, address to their personal problems, and then actually let down some of their problems to their child. So together they know how they're going to go about it. I know, for example, my mother is a very transparent person. She doesn't tell me a lot about what's going on with her, but whenever I see something is bothering her, I will just like, what's wrong? What is going on? She'll actually lay it down for me, and I'll be like, so what are we going about this? I will give some advice. Maybe she will see them in a way that she didn't think of them and actually have an idea of her own. I don't have to actually be involved in finding financial stuffs and all because I'm young. But then maybe the advice that I will give her will pave ways, you know? Maybe the advice that I'll give her will pave way for her to see a new direction. You know, she'll be like, okay, maybe she didn't understand what she actually said, but it actually gave me an idea for how I'm going to go about this problem. So I feel like that's very important.
I have to agree with you. Lynn, what are you telling us?
I just wanted to say also, like, to bring light to another issue, like a child grows up with like family and friends. So friends also play a big role in the child's mental health. And especially now friends are online, and with online comes social media, which I talked about earlier. So I feel like social media at the same time can also be a cause of mental health problems.
You're right. I agree with you. That's why I'm very worried when I see my kids 24/7 with their phones, because I don't know what they're talking about. So what are you trying to tell us? That do you want to say that maybe kids who are going through mental illness conditions should also try to contact friends? But I have a question there. Those people, you're contacting them online, some of them you don't know them.
Yeah, that's a very risky thing. Obviously, contacting people online should like only be your close friends, which parents should like know about, I guess. And also with social media, like just looking at like influencers, for example, and like it's really hard to use social media in a positive way.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you so much. Our time is really running so fast, and this topic is very, very great. I wish we have, I hope next time if I invite you again, you will be ready to come and let us continue talking to youth, because I think we need to address this issue. We need to address this issue to the parents, but at the same time, we need to address this issue to other kids and let them know ways they can come out from these mental illness conditions. But what I'm saying right now, if you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling depressed, please speak out. The only solution to handle the mental illness conditions is by you speaking out how you're feeling. You don't have a friend, you don't have somebody who can listen, but reach out. Reach out to us. I'm here. WH Physio Clinic is ready to listen to you. You can call us 416-633 1334 416-633-1334. Please, if you're a parent, if you're a child, and you want to express your feeling, call us. Let us speak out. Let us discuss these issues of mental illness conditions among ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you to my guests. Thank you again. Shout to our DJ. Thank you for running this show. Please keep watching TOMz Radio, keep listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share all our social media platforms. And this is a very great topic. See you next week.
Falling out falling in, nothing sure in this world. No, breaking down, breaking in, never knowing what lies ahead. We can really never tell it all. No. Say goodbye, say hello to a lover or friend. Sometimes we never could understand why some things begin then just end. We can really never have it all. No. But can't you see that no matter what happens, life goes on, and so baby, just fine. 'Cause I'm always around you, and I make you see how beautiful life is for you and me. Take a little time, baby, see the butterflies calling, listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain. Getting high, you know, when you lose you should go. Yeah. Getting warm, getting cold, weather could be so good or bad. But baby, this is life, no, don't get mad. No. 'Cause can't you see that no matter what happens, life goes on and on. So baby, please smile, just smile. 'Cause I'm always around you, and I'll make you see how beautiful life is for you and me. Take a little time, baby, see the butterflies calling, listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain. Life's full of challenges, not all the time we get what we want. But don't despair, my dear. No. You'll take it higher and you'll make it through the storm, 'cause you're strong. My faith in you is clear. So I'll say once again, this one's wonderful. And let us celebrate life that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain.